Husband pretended to have a job for 6 months, but when I got pregnant, he confessed to a drunken one-night stand. I'd been with my husband William for 8 years, married for 3. We met during our sophomore year of college when we were paired up for a group project in our economics class. William was the charming, outgoing type who always had big dreams. He talked about wanting to work on Wall Street and become a hotshot investment banker. I was more reserved, planning to become a teacher like my mom. Despite our different personalities, we clicked right away. William's ambition and enthusiasm were infectious, and he brought me out of my shell. We started dating a few months after that first project and have been together ever since. After graduation, William landed an entry-level job at a prestigious investment firm in the city. I was so proud of him for achieving his dream. I found a job teaching 3rd grade at a local elementary school. We moved in together and started building our life. For the first couple of years, things were great. William was working long hours but loving his job. He'd come home excited about the deals he was working on, even if I didn't always understand the financial jargon. I was happy in my teaching job, though the hours were more predictable than William's. As William climbed the corporate ladder, his work hours got even longer and he started traveling more for business. Sometimes he'd be gone for days at a time for important meetings or conferences. I got used to eating dinner alone and going to bed without him there. William always made it up to me when he was home, planning special date nights or weekend getaways. The job paid well, allowing us to save up and buy a beautiful house in the suburbs last year. It was a big step for us, but we felt ready to put down roots. We even started talking about having kids in the next year or 2. I trusted William completely and never questioned his work commitments. He'd always been honest with me, so I had no reason to doubt him. Plus, I could see how much his career meant to him. I was willing to make sacrifices to support his dreams. Last month, William told me he had to go on a 2-week business trip to London for an important merger his firm was working on. He seemed more stressed about this trip than usual. He said it was a make or break deal that could lead to a big promotion if it went well. I helped him pack, making sure he had everything he needed for such a long trip. I even drove him to the airport at 5 a.m. so he wouldn't have to leave his car there. While William was gone, we texted regularly and had short calls when we could, working around the time difference. He sounded tired but excited about how the deal was progressing. I missed him, but I was glad things seemed to be going well. The day before William was supposed to return, I got an unexpected call from his mom. Linda. William and I are close with his parents, who live about an hour away from us. We usually have dinner with them every couple of weeks. Linda asked how William's new job search was going. I was confused and told her William was in London for work. There was an awkward pause. Then she said, "Oh, I thought he told you. He lost his job at the firm 6 months ago." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could William have lost his job without me knowing? Where had he been going all those times he said he was at work? What about this London trip? Linda quickly apologized for mentioning it and hung up, realizing she had said something she shouldn't have. I sat there in shock, trying to process this information. I tried calling William, but it went straight to voicemail. I sent him a text, asking him to call me urgently. Then I started looking around our house for any clues. In William's home office, I found a stack of papers hidden in the back of a drawer. They were unemployment forms and job applications dating back 6 months. I also found bank statements showing large withdrawals over the past few months. I was stunned. William had been lying to me for half a year about having a job. He had been pretending to go to work, even taking fake business trips. Where was he really going? And where was all our money going? I spent the next 24 hours in a daze, waiting for William to come home. I couldn't eat or sleep. I kept replaying our conversations from the past 6 months in my head, trying to spot any signs I might have missed. How could I have been so oblivious? When William finally walked through the door, acting like everything was normal, I confronted him immediately. At first, he tried to deny it, saying his mom must have misunderstood something. But when I showed him the papers I found, he broke down. William admitted he had been laid off 6 months ago, but was too ashamed to tell me. He had been pretending to go to work while actually looking for a new job. The business trips were times he stayed with friends while claiming to travel for work. He said he didn't want to disappoint me or stress me out, so he thought he could find a new job quickly without me knowing. But as months passed, the lie got bigger and he didn't know how to come clean. I asked about our finances. William confessed he had been using his severance pay and dipping into our savings to maintain our lifestyle. He thought he'd have a new job by now and could replace the money before I noticed. I was furious and heartbroken. I couldn't believe William had been deceiving me for so long. This wasn't just a white lie or a small secret. This was 6 months of continuous deception about something fundamental to our life together. I told William the first needed space and went to stay with my sister for a few days. I needed time to process everything and decide what to do next. It's been a week now, and I still don't know what to do. William keeps calling and texting, pleading for another chance. He says he'll do anything to regain my trust, but I don't know if I can ever trust him again after such a massive betrayal. I'm also terrified about our financial situation. How much of our savings did William burn through while pretending to have a job? Can we afford our mortgage? Will we have to sell the house we just bought? I feel like my whole life has been turned upside down. I've always been independent and prided myself on being able to spot lies. My parents went through a messy divorce when I was a teenager because of my dad's infidelity, so I thought thought I was extra vigilant about honesty in relationships. The fact that William was able to deceive me so thoroughly for so long has shaken my confidence. I love William and we've built a life together, but I don't know if our marriage can survive this level of deception. Part of me wants to try to work things out. We've been through so much together. I still care about him. But another part feels like this betrayal is too big to overcome. I'm also angry at myself for not noticing anything was wrong. Were there signs I missed? Should I have questioned William more about his work? I keep second-guessing every interaction we've had over the past 6 months. My sister thinks I should leave William, saying I deserve someone I can trust completely. My best friend says I should at least try counseling before making any big decisions. I haven't told my parents yet. I know they'll be furious with William and I'm not ready to deal with their reactions. I feel lost and could use some advice. Am I overreacting? Is there any way to rebuild trust after a lie this big? Or should I cut my losses and start over? Has anyone been through something similar and managed to work things out? Update 1, it's been about 3 weeks since I found out about William's lies. A lot has happened, so I wanted to give an update. After staying with my sister for a few days, I went back home to talk to William. We had a long, emotional conversation where he explained everything in detail. Apparently, he was laid off along with his whole department due to company restructuring. He was given a decent severance package but was told not to discuss the layoffs publicly due to some legal issues with the company. William said he initially thought he'd find a new job quickly, so he decided not to tell me right away to avoid worrying me. But as weeks turned into months with no job offers, he panicked and the lie snowballed. He used the severance money in our savings to keep up appearances, even going on fake business trips to maintain the charade. I was still angry and hurt, but hearing the full story helped me understand a bit better. William seemed genuinely remorseful and promised to be completely transparent going forward. We agreed to try marriage counseling to work on our trust issues. We had our first counseling session last week. It was tough, but it felt good to express my feelings in a controlled environment. The counselor suggested we work on rebuilding trust slowly, starting with full financial transparency. William agreed to give me access to all his accounts and to involve me in his job search process. I also insisted that William tell his parents and our close friends the truth. It was humiliating for him, but I felt it was necessary to clear the air and hold him accountable. Most people were shocked but supportive, offering to help William network for job opportunities. However, just as we were starting to work things out, I got an unexpected message on Facebook. It was from a woman named Melissa who claimed to know William. She said she had seen my posts about William and felt I deserved to know the truth. According to Melissa, William had been working at a local bar for the past few months, the same bar where she worked. She said William told everyone there he was single. Melissa even sent me photos of William at the bar in a uniform. I was floored. Just when I thought I knew the full extent of William's lies, there was another layer of deception. I confronted William immediately. He admitted it was true. He had taken a job at the bar to make some money but was embarrassed to tell me. He swore he never cheated and only pretended to be single because he was ashamed of his situation. I don't know what to believe anymore. Every time I think I have the full truth, more lies come out. I'm starting to wonder if I ever really knew William at all. The trust in our marriage feels irreparably broken. I told William the first need more time apart to think things through. I'm staying with my parents now and focusing on figuring out our financial situation. I've learned our savings are almost completely drained. William spent most of his severance and a big chunk of our joint savings maintaining his lie over the past 6 months. We're behind on our mortgage payments. I'm meeting with a financial advisor next week to see what options we have. My family and friends are furious with William and think I should leave him. My sister offered to let me stay with her long term if I decide to separate from William. My parents want me to move back home and get a divorce. Part of me agrees with them. How can I ever trust William again after all this? But another part still loves him and wonders if we can somehow rebuild from this. We've been together for 8 years and built a life together. It's hard to walk away from that. I'm taking things day by day right now. I've told William not to contact me for a while as I sort through my feelings. I'm also considering individual therapy to help process everything. Financially, I'm trying to protect myself as much as possible. I've opened my own bank account and I'm putting my paychecks there instead of our joint account. I'm also gathering all our financial documents so I have a clear picture of our situation. Work has been a welcome distraction through all of this. My students always cheer me up, even on my worst days. I'm grateful to have a steady job and supportive coworkers during this difficult time. I'm also leaning on my friends more than ever. My best friend has been amazing, checking in on me daily and distracting me with girls' nights out. It helps to be reminded that there are still good people in my life who I can trust. Thank you to everyone who commented on my original post with advice and support. I'll update again once I've figured out my next steps. This whole situation still feels surreal, but I'm trying to stay strong and make the best decisions for my future. Update 2. It's been about 2 months since my last update. I wish I had better news to share, but unfortunately things have only gotten more complicated. After taking some time apart, William and I tried to reconcile. We started marriage counseling and William seemed committed to rebuilding trust. He got a new job in finance. For real this time, I verified it. And we were working on a plan to recover financially. We moved back in together and tried to reestablish some normalcy in our relationship. William was being completely transparent about his whereabouts and finances. He even gave me access to his email and phone to help rebuild trust. Things were tense, but I felt like we were making progress. However, about a month ago, I found out I was pregnant. It wasn't planned, and the timing couldn't be worse given everything going on. William and I had talked about having kids eventually, but we wanted to wait until we were more financially stable and our relationship was in a better place. I was overwhelmed and unsure how to feel. Part of me was excited. I've always wanted to be a mom. But another part was terrified about bringing a child into such an unstable situation. I didn't tell William right away. I needed time to process the news myself first. When I finally told William, he initially seemed happy and said maybe this was a sign for us to really commit to fixing our marriage. He talked about how becoming parents would give us a fresh start and a chance to rebuild our family on a foundation of honesty. For a week, we cautiously celebrated the pregnancy. We started discussing names and thinking about how to convert the guest room into a nursery. William even called his parents to share the news. But then, just as I was starting to feel hopeful about our future, William came to me in tears with yet another confession. Apparently, William had a one-night stand with a woman he met at the bar where he was secretly working. It happened about 3 months ago when we were separated after I first found out about his lies. He swore it was a drunken mistake and meant nothing. I was devastated. Just when I was starting to consider trusting William again, he dropped this bombshell. The idea that he could cheat on me while I was reeling from his previous deception made me sick. What's worse, the timing means there's a possibility the baby isn't William's. I'm around 11 weeks pregnant now, so it lines up with when William's affair happened. I'm struggling to process all of this. I feel betrayed, angry, and trapped. I always wanted kids, but not like this. I don't know if I can stay married to William after yet another massive breach of trust. But the thought of being a single mother terrifies me. William is begging for forgiveness again. He wants us to stay together and raise the baby, regardless of paternity. He's offered to take a DNA test once the baby is born. He says he'll do whatever it takes to make things right. Go to rehab for his drinking, find a new job away from the bar scene, even move to a new city for a fresh start, if that's what I want. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to just walk away from this whole mess and start over. But I'm pregnant and financially dependent on William right now. I'm not sure I can handle single motherhood, but staying with William seems impossible too. I've confided in my sister and best friend. They're both furious with William and think I should leave him. My sister offered to let me move in with her and help with the baby. My best friend thinks I should get a paternity test done as soon as possible so I can make informed decisions. My parents don't know about the cheating or pregnancy yet. I'm afraid to tell them everything. They were just starting to forgive William for the job lies. I know this will be the final straw for them. For now, I'm still living separately from William while I figure things out. I have my first prenatal appointment next week. I'm scared and unsure about the future, but trying to stay calm for the baby's sake. I'm also meeting with a lawyer to understand my options. I don't know if I want a divorce, but I need to protect myself and the baby financially no matter what happens. If anyone has been through a similar situation or has advice, I could really use some support right now. I never imagined my life would turn out like this, and I feel completely lost. Update 3. It's been 6 months since my last update. A lot has changed, so I wanted to give a final update on my situation. I'm now 34 weeks pregnant. After much soul-searching, I decided to continue with the pregnancy. It wasn't an easy choice, but I knew I wanted this baby, despite the difficult circumstances. As for William, I finally made the hard decision to end our marriage. The continuous lies and betrayal were just too much to overcome. I filed for divorce about 4 months ago. William didn't take it well at first. He kept trying to convince me to give him another chance, especially with the baby on the way. He went for his drinking and started seeing a therapist. But I stood firm. I realized I deserve someone I can trust completely, and William had broken that trust too many times. The divorce process has been challenging, especially while pregnant, but my family and friends have been incredibly supportive. My sister even offered to let me live with her for a while after the baby is born. Financially, things are tight but manageable. I had to sell our house, which was painful, but it was necessary to pay off debts and split assets. I'm back to working full-time at my teaching job and have been saving as much as possible for the baby. William and I agreed to a DNA test after the birth to determine paternity. If the baby is his, we'll work out a co-parenting arrangement. If not, he's agreed to step back. Either way, I'm prepared to raise this child on my own if necessary. These past months have been the hardest of my life, but I'm slowly healing. I've been going to therapy, which has helped tremendously in processing everything and rebuilding my self-esteem. I'm learning to trust my instincts again and set healthy boundaries. I've also reconnected with old friends and made some new ones through a support group for single mothers. It's been comforting to talk to women who understand what I'm going through. My parents have been incredibly supportive since I told them everything. They were furious with William at first, but now they're focused on helping me prepare for the baby. My dad has been fixing up the nursery at my sister's house where I'll be staying, and my mom comes to all my doctor's appointments. Work has been a saving grace through all of this. My principal and coworkers have been understanding about my situation and the time I've needed to take off for appointments and legal meetings. I'm grateful to have a job I love to return to after maternity leave. I'm nervous about becoming a single mom, but also excited to meet my baby. I'm focusing on creating a peaceful, stable environment for my child, free from lies and drama. I've been reading parenting books and talking to other single moms to prepare as much as I can. William and I are trying to establish a cordial relationship for the sake of co-parenting if the baby turns out to be his. It's not easy, but we're both committed to putting the child first. We've agreed to use a mediator to help us navigate custody and visitation issues. As for my future romantic life, I'm not even thinking about dating right now. My focus is on healing, preparing for the baby, and building a stable life for us. Maybe someday I'll be ready to trust someone again, but for now, I'm okay on my own. To everyone who offered support and advice throughout this ordeal, thank you. Your words help me find the strength to make tough decisions and prioritize my well-being and my baby's future. I've learned so much about myself through this experience, and I'm stronger for it.